Hello. Hello, how's everybody? Everybody doing well? Morning, kind of. Sorry for being a little bit late today, guys. My back's killing me. It's killing me. I did not sleep very well. Yep. I've been, I went to the doctor's the other day and got a very stern talking to about how sitting down all day is really bad for you and you shouldn't do that. So I've been doing calisthenics before and after the stream, and yeah, I tweaked something with my back. It's not good. It's not good. So if I'm like, I'm gonna be fine, I'm just gonna sit like this for a little while, you know. Might get yourself an adjustable desk. Oh, nah, I don't want to. I like this desk too much. Yoga is what you need. Yoga. Yeah. Nah. Welcome to Old and Busted. We need to be the old busted hotness, though, man. Yeah, that's what the garage stretch breaks are for. Oh, dude. I tweaked something. I was doing jumping jacks, push-ups, crunches. And I was doing a jumping jack, and I didn't plant my foot right, and my whole back's like, I'm like, oh, why did you do this back? Why? Yeah, that blows. I'm getting a haircut today and taking college classes to start next week to troll for ladies. You should get a haircut like mine. Play KSP inverted. Yeah. You had an anomaly. Hey guys, you want to see something funny? Any gun nuts tuning in? You guys want to see something funny? I was scrolling through my feed right before I started. Check this out. Look. So the U.S. Navy posted this. Keeping the water safe. U.S. Navy units in the U.S. 5th Fleet. So 5th Fleet is in the Mediterranean. Intercepted a fishing vessel smuggling 2,100 AK-47 rifles while transiting international waters from Iran to Yemen. I mean, who do you think they got to lay out all those rifles? So the reason why, I mean, that's good. That's good. Smuggling is bad. You shouldn't smuggle guns. That's probably not a good idea. But also, AK-47s, huh? Those are not AK-47s at all. Those are not even close to an AK-47. Those are cranks, and I want one, dude. So here, let's take a look. Let's zoom in on this sucker. Made in Russia, AKS-20Y 5.45 by 39. Yeah, that's not an AK-47 at all. But it's a lot of cranks, and I really want one. Those are cool rifles, man. Well, they're not even a rifle. It's like an M4 version of an AK. But it's not an AK. I'm like, wait a minute. Those are cranks. It's not an AK at all. Ever seen Lord of War? Yes, but I like it better my way. Probably on the way back to Russia when intercepted. Something like Iran to Yemen, though? No, that's smuggling for local militias, most likely, don't you think? Look at how 2 rows the handles start being wood. Oh, I didn't notice that. That's right. Dude, I thought Hellfish, I thought they were Narinkos. Those aren't Narinkos. Those are real cranks, and I really want one. Those are cool pieces of equipment, man. Hey, I said that quote before to you. Where's my cookie? Here. Did you talk about the KSP moon thing yet? No. I'd love to have every one of them. What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with 2100 AK? You know what? I don't need to know. I don't need to know the answer to that. I'll just take one and a couple of magazines, and we're good to go. Is that a destroyer? It's definitely a Burke. They were very, very, very careful to show what ship that wasn't. That's definitely the aft end of an Arleigh Burke. But yeah, I saw the picture and I'm just like, damn. So, Squids. Any Navy guys in chat? Okay, who did the work? What rank of person? I'd assume a person at the bottom of the totem pole did this. So like, this was probably like what's the naval ranking equivalent of an intern? What is the naval ranking equivalent of an intern? Right, Tessa? What's the Navy equivalent of a red shirt from Star Trek? E1? Yeah. Frogmen. Dude, we got 2100 AKs. We gotta lay them out. We gotta lay them out on the flight deck. Yeah, the enlisted. Yeah. There you go. That's the word. They line those up. They line those up like aligning bedposts in BASIC. Dude, look at all the damn cranks. They got them off of a fishing boat. Yeah, I want to know who the guy was that they made, who the guys were that they made do that. We need you to stack these all over the flight deck. What? No, not what. Yes, sir. It's a DDG all day. That's a Burke. But like I said, the pictures are very clear not to say which one it is. The Navy has a thing about that. They really, really, really don't want you to know where the ships are. Which, unless they're in port. Yeah, they get mad. They get mad when you tell people where the boats are. They're not boats, I know. The fishing boat looks like a junk, but I don't see sails. It's... The mast is down, dude. Look, you can see it. It's right there. The mast is down. Yeah, they got collapsible stocks, man. Yeah, those are folder AKs. Or folder cranks, dude. So that's an AKS 74U. That's what it says. That's what it says in Russian on the side. If you look. So made in Russia, AKS. I mean, that says AKS 20. I'm not sure why that's 20, but this is a 74U. These are really, those are freaking cool, man. The boats with Rule 8 flags? Yeah. Look at you. You are not the captain now. That's I'm gonna go ahead and say that's a fair chunk of change. Right there. That's probably a lot of money. That looks expensive. Yeah. Take a couple cranks, dude. I mean, like I said, I don't know what you're gonna do with all of these. But wait a minute. What the hell? Any gun nuts? What's going on here? What is that? What is that? The T-grip thing that's on the side? Oh, dude. Give me the one with the wood furniture, man. The wood furniture. They're like $350 a pop. Jeez. They always feel uneasy around firearms. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair, Nova. I think that's very fair to have a healthy bit of respect for what that thing does. Just like a car, like an airplane, like anything else. You know, you should. Nova. That's normal. You should feel uneasy around those things because what they do, right? But don't be like, oh my god. You know, like you should be like, okay, I gotta not be an idiot when I have this in my hand. Busted charging handle? Yeah, I was going to say, it looks like they welded something to the bolt carrier there. If you aren't familiar with him, that's common. Yeah. Ask me how I know that's a modified charging handle. So, yeah. Oh, whoa, wait a minute. Wait a minute, fellas. Hold on. Oh. Yeah, okay. Take a look. Narinkos. Those are Narinkos. Chinese made. Don't ask me why I know that. Look. I mean, I can tell you straight up. It's the sight. The sight is a dead giveaway. See how these have an open sight? That's Russian. The Chinese Narinkos. So those are AK-47s. That's an AKS-47 with a folder. Look at they got the folder stocks on them. Wood furniture. Those are Narinkos. So it's a Type 56. That's what that is. Where did these guns come from again? The Navy seized them off of a fishing boat. I always thought it was weird because they called them 47s. Those aren't 47s. Those are though. Actually, those aren't 47s. There's Type 56S. They're literally Chinese knockoff AKs. The ones with the wood pistol grips. Rock and roll element. But yeah, as you know, they Nova, you're not wrong. They afford a healthy amount of respect. You know what I mean? Gotta be careful with those things. Oh, Midge-san! Ohayo gozaimasu. What's up? What's up? What's up? Midge, I'm going to need you to speak English from now on. Do you understand? You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to misunderestimate. I need you to speak English. Hey, Need, what's going on? Sleepy, how you doing? Been around my whole life. I respect them. I know what they can do. No, Element, I'm not saying that you don't. I'm saying that's what you that you're right. I'm with you on that one. Super kawaii go. Same page, my dude. That's right. It's amazing how many fishing boats follow around Navy fleets. When my dad was in the Navy during Vietnam, there was a Russian fishing boat that was always just right at the horizon following them around. Everyone knew it was a spy boat. Dude, we do that. We do the same. We do the same stuff here. We do the same kind of stuff. The Pueblo, if you don't know. So Sleepy, I'm sorry, man. Well, you could be better. Yeah, I hear you. So the Pueblo is right there. It's a USNS ship, a banner class. It's an environmental research ship. Oh yeah, an environmental research ship. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what that is. Sure. Yeah, we're researching the environment. We're concerned about the... Oh, yeah. Duck, we do the same thing. Everyone does that. Everybody's creeping on everybody else. Yeah, Midge, exactly. Should have destroyed the Pueblo. Yeah. Yeah, man. That's some Red October stuff. Oh, speaking of that, I finished Jack Ryan. Oh yeah, it's good. It's good. Oh yeah. Season 3 is good. Got some real Hunt for Red October vibes at the end of it. It's really good. Yeah. Hey, Rocket Guy. Yep. Yeah, exactly, Shy. That's right. That's right. Watch season 3. In fact, you know what? I went back and watched season 2. Season 2 is still good as well. It's quite good. Yeah. We waved at each other across the water. Did they wave back, Midge? Did you watch the Jack Reacher Prime series? I'm reading the books this year. No, I haven't. They waved back. That's awesome. That's always funny to me. They're like, hey, hello there. There's always And you know what's funny, Midge? You know where I learned this? I learned it from Red October. There's always a healthy amount of mutual respect when you're on the water, because it's kind of like what happens in space. There's mutual respect, because you know that you don't frick around with the ocean. The ocean will kill you very quickly if you're not careful. You know? I always thought that's funny. It's just like, hey, what up? That's funny to me. It's cool. Like that's pretty neat. It's well written down. It keeps a good pace through the episodes. No, it feels like a Tom Clancy show element, if that makes any sense. Mother Nature wins real fast. Yeah, you got to be careful. The Earth can kill you real quick. And speaking of mutual respect in space, guys, we got word yesterday what's going on with the MS-22. So we'll segue that into space news here. The MS-22 Soyuz, as I thought, the secondary coolant loop is shot. So that's the coolant loop that you need on the capsule for re-entry. That pretty much the Russian and the Americans pretty much confirmed that that's what's going on yesterday. Not pretty much, they did. The coolant loop is shot. It's micrometeorites, guys. It's MMOD. That is just bad luck. That happens in space sometimes. A meteorite just pegged the coolant line. It happens. Like, it's rare, but it does happen. This happened on the shuttle all the time. The shuttle would... the micrometeorites would hit the radiators on the shuttle. It got hit by a Geminid. Yep. And the secondary coolant loop is shot. So MS-22 is going to come back down uncrewed. And the Russians are going to send up the MS-23 capsule sometime soon. And the crew that's up there, so that's... I think it's Sergei Prokofiev and Denis Peloton, I think is his name. And Frank Rubio are going to stay up there for a little while. They extended their stay. And Starliner is waiting for a parking spot. Can you believe that, Hellfish? I mean, a Crew Dragon came back down, or not Crew Dragon, Cargo Dragon came back down yesterday. Splashed down at 5:30 in the morning. So there is an open spot. They will also move one of the seats to Dragon for Frank Rubio to have a fully working return craft in case of an emergency. Noted. In the interim, NASA will move Frank Rubio's Soyuz seat to the Crew 5 Dragon in case of an emergency exit. In case an emergency exit is needed. Smart. Smart. That's a smart idea. Hey, Sawyer. February 20th, originally scheduled for March 23rd. Yeah. It's good, man. It's cool. Joe Montalbano, who runs the ISS program for NASA, he said that working with the new guy, the newer guy that runs Roscosmos, Borzimov, is very professional, very straightforward, no bull crap. So they worked this problem, and hopefully you get everybody back in one piece, which is cool. That's good to hear. Same with the planet. There's plenty of footage of Russian Soviet airmen in Tu-95s waving bottles of Coke and the like at interceptors when they're skirting waving bottles of Coke. That's funny. I like that. Hey, look, we have your drink. Yep. I wonder what kind of coolant system used. If it's ammonia. They use ammonia. Yeah. For the coolant loops. And like I said, guys, MS-22, that Soyuz is fine. The primary coolant loop is okay. But the problem is that the primary coolant loop is on the service module, the thing that you jettison during reentry. The secondary coolant loop is used to keep the capsule cool during reentry. I wouldn't roll the dice with that at all. That's not a good idea. No. Everything that they're doing is right. That's what they. Yeah, that's how it should be done. What's this about taking a seed out of Soyuz and putting it in Dragon? It's a contingency procedure because MS-22 is not... If it leaves, it's not a lifeboat. For launch day today? Well, I gotta show the breakthrough that I had yesterday, Doom. But yeah, I'm jonesing for a couple of launches today. Interesting, Midge. I didn't know the suites could be swapped like that. John, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that's probably a very in situ modification, a field modification, if you will. Yeah, I don't think it's a bolt. It's a direct bolt in. That's very much an in situ thing. That's the actual case, RJ. Yeah, alright guys, let's get to work. Alright, so, check this out. I bought another live steam locomotive, a heavy Mikado. Cool. So guys, check this out. We had a breakthrough with how this all works. Ready? Watch. I don't know, maybe. There's still some tweaking to do. There's still some tweaking to do. Don't you need to get out of the hangar to show it? Yeah, so what I did... Well, we were working late last night, guys. The stream went real long. Because we needed to figure something out. I wanted to see if there's any way to basically find the kinematic numbers here. And what does that mean? I wanted to see if there's a way to be able to get the shuttle to have a baked cal controller. Baked. To have a baked cal controller that basically does the same thing every time. And in this case, I'm talking about berthing Pathfinder to the station. We did have some trouble when we tested it in mission mode. So we went into engineering mode, and I noticed that this is an operation I'm basically going to have to do every time to get the shuttle to dock correctly. Right? So what we did was we came up with this idea of basically taking a hydraulic and putting it in place between the docking ports, right? And we got to clean this up today in engineering mode. I'm going to clean up the cal controller by finishing the numerical arrays here because there's some things. But long story short, we have the hydraulic. We take this thing, we put this thing up into space, and then I extend the hydraulic when we're up in space, and I loosen the arm. I just free float all the joints, and if you do it slowly, it literally gives you the numbers that you need to create a nice smooth docking procedure. It's dude, that's a huge breakthrough to figuring out the inverse kinematics of the arm. Raid and Trunks Gaming in chat, Raid 16 and Trunks Gaming helped me figure this out. It was really, really, really smart. Did you get any work done on your truck during your hour stretch break last night? No. No, I didn't, drummer. So no point in uploading it to YouTube? No. Upload the shuttle mission, and then Kerbal after that. What was stopping NASA from putting the docking port on top of the cockpit or concealed in the nose? So putting it right there? Long story short, sweet, space. There's literally no space. So see that? How they made the shuttle was the shuttle basically, okay, so sweet, you know how like an engine is mounted in a car? You have the frame of the car and then the engine is on mounts inside of the car, right? The shuttle is basically built like that, but airplane style. So the shuttle has an outer skin like that. That's Challenger, I think, if I'm looking at that right. So it basically has an outer skin, and the pressure vessel, so the pressurized component, so the third deck, mid deck, flight deck, that is cradled. It's cradled inside of this, like, kind of aluminum unibody for the shuttle. There, dude, if you look, see that space between the outer skin and the edge of the bulkhead? It's maybe about this much. There is no room for a docking port there. The docking ports really don't. They're big. They're big. You can't fit it anywhere. That's the reason. There's enough space for some windows, and that's about it. But the shuttle was always designed to have the docking port right here, so you could get in the payload bay. So they put the docking port in the payload bay because you don't want your docking port on the outer skin of the shuttle. But yeah, it's cradled inside of that, like a motor is cradled inside of a car. It's the same idea. Yeah, see, there it is being cradled in there. There's no space on either side. And I'm not talking, like, oh, they could have fit one. I'm talking like 3000 GT VR4 engine bay, no space. You know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about. I know you're not much of a Mitsubishi guy, sweet, but also I'm talking about that much space. Okay, all right, you do know what I'm talking about. Excellent, excellent. Somehow Mitsubishi managed to cram a twin turbo V6 with an all-wheel drive drivetrain into that car. I still am not entirely sure how they did that. That's a stormtrooper. Is Dream Chaser cradled in the same way? Kind of baseball, yeah. So Dream Chaser, and yeah, 3000 GTs are notorious. You want to change a spark plug, you got to take the engine out because the spark plugs are down there and down there somewhere. 37 pounds of crap in a 3-pound bag. Yeah, but it was fast for the time. They were trying to make a super killer. And I'm sorry, that is just a pretty car. That car looks great. And I'm not even that big of a Mitsubishi guy. You get the Mitsubishi GTO grill and it looks amazing. That is a really cool car. I would drive a 3000 GT. Those are sweet. I love See, that looks real good, man. Anyway, before we get into tangent about cars. So Dream Chaser. Dream Chaser is kind of built in the same way, baseball, yes. VR4s are usually going for 22K nowadays. It's under the arrow tab. Or not under the arrow tab, RJ. It's under the... Hold on. I know it by muscle memory, dude. Physics. Click on the physics tab. Audrey? Yeah, Rocket Guy, you got a picture. Yeah, Dream Chaser is kind of built in the same way, but it's kind of real next level stuff. Thank you, Rocket Guy. I was pretty much going to look for that picture. So Dream Chaser is kind of a cylinder, almost. Take a look. It's a teardrop-shaped pressure vessel cradled inside of I want to say carbon fiber unibody, but that's car terminology. But yeah, for the most part, yes, it's built the same way. Yeah. So the shuttle's pressure vessel is cradled. There's no room for a docking port up here, guys. There's no room. There's room for about 2 windows, and that's it. The whole nose of the shuttle is jam-packed full of stuff. The whole nose cone of this thing is just filled, absolutely packed to the brim with components. Like, think small intestine packing full of components. There's room for activities for the people, but not for anything else. See how that's just full of stuff? So you got the whole pressure vessel. And then in the nose, you have the RCS, right? And then there's a huge structural bulkhead right there, to like a firewall on a car almost, to make sure that the people don't get near the hydrazine. RCS, yeah, that's bad for you. So there's a huge structural bulkhead right there at the front of the pressure vessel. It's, well, you can see it right there. See that? And then the landing gear is sitting underneath the RCS, and then all the tiles and everything are bolted to it. And then the wire harness for the shuttle goes down the bottom center of the payload bay. If you look on my shuttle, where those cal controllers are, that's where the wire harness is. All the wiring for everything goes underneath the payload bay and back out. And then, for the payload bay systems, the wire harness splits off and goes to either side. There's like 30 miles worth of wires inside of this thing. Seven pp, yeah, exactly. Shameless plug for your shuttle trainer tour. Yeah, that's right. There you go. Yeah, there's not a lot of space in there, man. Dream Chaser pressure vessel is so beautiful. Yeah, it's definitely some next level stuff. So that's like 1970s tech, and this is modern tech right there. It's definitely built a little bit different, dude. You can definitely see the difference. Rocket Guy, what is this? That's not aluminum, is it? The chassis here, that's carbon fiber. Or carbon composite, right? Carbon composite. Isn't there a stat that like 1/3 of the weight of the shuttle is wiring? It's got a lot of wires on it, man. You can see that. Look at the wire harnesses right there for just the front. You can see them all coming through the bulkhead for the RCS and stuff. Yeah, there you go, RJ. I found the issue. Should I keep those struts running straight down or get rid of them? The bow tie. Get rid of that. I think. I can't really see. I can't really see what your station is, dude. It'd have corrosion protection if it was aluminum. Ah, yeah, that's a good point. It would have the green. What a Chad tier vehicle. I'd have to go look how the stringers and the bulkheads were put together for the shuttle. I wonder if we could come up with... I mean, I don't think you could stir weld these things. But... It's Myla Wrap. Tiddlywink. Yeah, it's Myla. The gold part right there is the pressure vessel. So, like I said, the shuttle's pressure vessel is basically just a pod. It's a gigantic pod that's riding in an aluminum cradle that's shuttle-shaped. That whole thing is just a pod that sits in there. It's cradled inside of the payload bay. And then you should see it, so when they went to manufacture the shuttle, they made the top of the shuttle and the bottom of the shuttle. So they put the bottom of the shuttle together, then they put the pressure vessel in, and then they put the top, and then they welded it shut. They welded it together. Like this whole piece, see it right there? See that line? From there up was actually manufactured all in one piece. And then they dropped it on there. I'm sure there's a picture of it here somewhere. Yep, there it is. See? See that whole piece gets dropped onto the pressure vessel. You can actually see the seam right there. See? It's actually pretty smart, man. That's a pretty smart way of doing that. Dream Chaser without the cross members. Most spacecraft are literally a Tetris game here, guys. Most, like, lifting body spacecraft, I mean, even pods, they're a Tetris game. You see how everything is kind of shoehorned in at weird angles like that? It's all for mass balance. You got to balance the system out, right? Anybody make a space plane in Kerbal and it wants to fly backwards during re-entry? They have to. That's why the nose of the shuttle is jam-packed full of stuff. To balance the fact that you have 3 huge engines sitting on the back. It's a tough balancing act, dude. True, but the structure is similar. Yeah. If NASA was able to procure a shuttle in 2023 with the entirety of the Department of Defense budget, what do you think? If we were going to make a shuttle again, dude, I think that... Def, I'll admit, part of me is like, dude, if we tried to make the space shuttle now, with our advances in tile technology, so like unifibrous composite tiles instead of cilia-based tiles, you know, and better adhesion mechanisms for said tiles, and basically with, you know, like simulation technology and stuff, I think we could build a better shuttle, and I think we could build a shuttle that could overcome the problems that the shuttle had. Big deal with the shuttle is foam strikes during ascent. That's the big one. Make Skyline, no point in making a shuttle now. Yeah, Josh, I mean, that would probably be a better way to do it, but... I think if we made a shuttle now, it would probably be better, Def, yeah. Move the engines to the launch system more like Buran. I don't know, more shots, why would we do that? Honest question. Why would we do that? Why would we want to do that? I sent a better picture of the station if that helps. Yeah. Well, RJ, I don't know what's going on with your station. I don't know what's happening to your station. I can't tell you if these auto struts are working or not. I need to know what's going on. Simpler plumbing, more versatile launch platform. More shots. I can't, dude, once again, not an engineer, but I can't help but think that it probably would just be better to develop the shuttle and SLS at the same time than it would be to try and put that all into one vehicle. Buran Energia is a triumph of engineering. I will say it. It's nuts. It's nuts what they were able to do, given the Soviet Union's resources. Like, that is an insanely complicated launch vehicle, but it's, don't get me wrong, it is really good. It's really good. That thing can yeet 100 tons into space. Shuttle, no shuttle, doesn't matter. That's a really hard problem to solve. The advancements, really, guys, weren't necessarily with hardware on Energia. It's the guidance system. The guidance system is very advanced for the time. Automatically coming back down and landing. Now, don't get me wrong, the shuttle could do that, but the shuttle couldn't do that out of the box. They wanted people on the shuttle, you know? I just don't really, more shots, I really just can't get behind the idea of throwing shuttle engines into the, burning shuttle engines up. I like the idea of getting my shuttle engines back, you know? Your struts are pretty long. You'll get a good amount of deflection if things start wobbling. I agree. These bow tie struts, RJ, are probably why your thing's messing up. See that one right there? And I know you have to grandparent strut these solars, but you seem to have attached the solars right to the hydraulic. There is a reason why I put the cube there. I put the cube there, and then I put the pivot strut, and then I put the solar panel. So when you grandparent strut the solar panel, it grandparent struts to the cube. That makes sense? And that... Wait, why are your solar panels 3 solar panels tall? Why do you have such big solar panels? Was Buran technically a better shuttle? Erudite, it really comes down to what you're trying to do, to be honest with you. The determination of technical... Like, if you want to get this, so what we're going to get into is called systems engineering here. It depends. If you're looking to rapidly reuse your space shuttle and fly it once a week, Buran is not a good idea. That's not a good way. That's not a good idea. Because you're literally throwing away Hydrolox engines every time you launch. Every week, you're throwing Hydrolox engines away. You're never going to get a return on investment on that. You got to remember, the shuttle was designed to fly every week. That's why it brings the main engines back. I personally don't like the idea of getting rid of hydrogen engines, because if you're going to have hydrogen engines on your core stage, they're basically going to get to orbit every time. You might as well, it's not going to cost that much more delta V to get them all the way into space and then bring them back down. I don't like the idea. If you're going for rapid reuse, like what they were trying to do with the space shuttle and what SpaceX is trying to do with Starship now, and SpaceX would agree, Elon would agree that you want to bring your upper stage engines back, because Starship doesn't jettison the engines out the back, right? It would probably be more cost effective to bring such a technically complex piece of equipment, and not just technically complex, a piece of equipment that's very hard to manufacture. It'd probably pay to bring that back. Buran Energia would work for a... Buran Energia, I think, would be better if you were doing long-term exploration. So, like, maybe launching it once a month or something would make more sense with something like that. But even then, if you're launching once a month, reusing those engines is good. So the Buran Energia can technically do more, right? It can do more, but it scales with what you pay for. It's all the complexity of the shuttle and all the complexity of Saturn V kind of rolled into one. It's a very expensive launch vehicle. Part of the reason why the Soviet Union went belly up is because they couldn't match the US's defense spending, and the Buran Energia project is a sign of that. They just, you can't spend money on these crazy, ridiculous spaceflight projects, right? When people are sitting in bread lines. That's no good. So... I mean, if you look at Buran Energia and Shuttle, Dollars to dollars, yeah. Buran Energia is it's a little more, on a technical scale, it's a little bit better. Yeah, it can do more. It can literally do more. But also, it has a higher price tag because it can do more. The only thing that you can really do to bring down the cost of your launch vehicle is to launch it more. So you gotta think how complicated that vehicle is. It's complicated because it can launch with or without the shuttle. So that means not only if you're launching without the shuttle, that means that the Energia core stage now has the avionics on board, right? Long story short, you don't get your guidance system back either for a no shuttle launch of Energia, so it's fully expendable. And now there were proposals here and there of bringing the Zenith boosters back, having them parachute down, which does make sense. That'd work. I don't think that's a bad idea. But if you're comparing, technical to technical, the shuttle gets its boosters back every time. They land out in the water and then they just fish them out and bring them back. And no one can sit here and tell me that SRBs are more technically complicated than Zenith boosters. Zenith boosters have an RD-170, the most powerful kerosene engine, or the most powerful rocket engine ever flown, liquid rocket engine ever flown. Those are complicated. Those are complicated propulsion systems comparatively to the shuttle. The shuttle, but don't get me wrong, the shuttle also has an extremely complicated propulsion system in the form of the 3 shuttle main engines, but you get them back. Buran Energia can do more. It can do way more than the shuttle. Buran Energia could build out a pretty good little space station, and you could have the shuttle service said space station, and then, Buran Energia can go fish stuff out, bring it back. Down mass capabilities, great, but it really has no mission. What was its mission? Its mission was, we want this because the Americans have it. If Buran Energia, I would be more sold on it if it had a robust space program behind it. Like if they were gonna say Energia is gonna move a nuclear-powered transfer vehicle into space, and then we're gonna service it with the shuttle. I would be more sold on it, but I still think that the shuttle is better, and that's not to say that Buran Energia is a bad idea. It's a good idea. It's pretty cool. Hey, King Kitten, 81-month resub. I designed the solar panel so big, if you look at images of the shuttle dock to the station, the solar stick down further than the shuttle does. Oh. Yeah, okay. I would say Buran is less the deciding factor to better so much as Energia in general. The lifter had so much tank potential. Yeah, that's the real loss, Rocket Guy. Energia is a masterpiece. It is a masterclass in vehicle design. Energia should be studied for decades. It's so ridiculous. You don't know how hard it is to make an asymmetric vehicle with no thrust over the asymmetric component launch into space. That is a very difficult thing to do. Yeah, that's really tough. The shuttle has the 3 main engines behind it for balance, right? Even then, that's difficult, but I mean, we're talking any super heavy launch vehicle is difficult. Doesn't matter what it is. Big news in the racing world: Kyle Larson to McLaren for the Indy 500. Dude, Zach Brown making moves, man. Yeah, probably, but I go to UMD and work with Dr. Aiken on a daily basis, and he hits me with that so many times. No, not the Akin's laws. Yeah, better is the enemy of good. The thing is, fellas, it really comes down to what you're doing. What are you trying to do? And I know that kind of takes it and reduces it to a rather vague thing. If Buran Energia, let me put it to you like this: if Buran Energia had a systems architecture behind it, somewhat the likes of like Constellation, and it was built out to demonstrate like the capabilities of Energia and the capabilities of Energia Buran, then I would be more sold on it. But until then, I think the shuttle's original STS idea is genius, which is why I'm doing it. Which is why we have this bad boy. But I will say that even though the shuttle is like fully reusable, etc., etc., I think the Soviets had it right. They had it right with building the requirements to move something like this into space constitute basically super heavy launch vehicle architecture, right? And if you're going to build a super heavy launch vehicle, you might as well build a super heavy launch vehicle that doesn't launch the shuttle. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. So once again, the Soviet system could launch with the shuttle on the side or not. You could do either one. And that's smart. That's very smart. But I would still contend to say that it would probably be easier. Like, okay, this is going to sound ridiculous. It would probably be easier to build a shuttle system where you get your engines back, and like SLS, for instance, at the same time. It would be better to build SLS and the shuttle at the same time. I will bet you dollars to donuts that would actually be cheaper. Yeah, than trying to integrate it all into one system like that. That's hard to do, and that's what I mean. Energia is a better lifter, right? But I think the shuttle is a better design. Well, we would have beat out Energia if we made Shuttle C. Yeah, RJ, that's kind of what I'm getting at. Shuttle C, along with the space shuttle, yeah, that's a good idea. We should do that. Or just build SLS and the shuttle out at the same time. Basically what I'm doing in my program. Because a lot of you guys know I've been launching the shuttle a lot. We've been flying the shuttle a lot. I designed a shuttle-derived launch vehicle at the same time. It's HLV. That's just its name right now. I don't have a good name for it. But here, let me show you. Shuttle C with the configurable pod variant would have been so good. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Though with configurability brings in complexity. That's exactly Rocket Guy. That's exactly why I think building something like direct with the space shuttle at the same time would have been a smart move. I think it would have been easier for them to sell this, and it would have been easier for them to sell this system, you know? It probably would have been easier to design as well if you design the shuttle and SLS at the exact same time. So like think like building an SLS core stage, the segmented SRBs, right? And then putting an S4B and an Orion and the Apollo capsule on top of something like that, and also making the shuttle at the same time. That probably would have been cheaper than trying to build shuttle and shuttle C. I pretty much, yeah, that's pretty much, I think that's about right. Actually, that'd be a pretty fancy little architecture. Yeah, that would be pretty smart. Put another Skylab on it. Yeah, Jim. Yeah. And you know what the messed up part is? They wanted to. NASA tried to. If you type in NLS, the National Launch System, into Google, right? You do an image search, right? There should be... It's funny because it's populating pictures of SLS. NLS was proposed at the same time as the shuttle by Rockwell. People that made the shuttle. That's a render of NLS from the 70s. What does that look like? Do you think SpaceX will ever venture into SSTO territory? No. No. I don't. Unfortunately. SLS is 70-year-old tech? No. It looks cursed, yeah. Right. So they proposed these ideas at the same time. It would have been, and this is Rockwell. This is the people that engineered the shuttle. They said it would be better if we built this and the shuttle at the same time, so you don't lose large fairing capability. Also, they proposed something like that, that was Boeing's idea, which is okay. Okay. Yeah, Boeing had some weird ideas here. What second stage does your HLV use? I don't have a second stage in this design, in the Block 1 design. I think I'm going to do some changes to this, guys. I think I'm going to put shuttle engines on the back. Or, I mean, we're running skippers right now, so it's 320. 320 versus 315. But honestly, the problem here is TWR. Because I slightly expanded the tanks. Yeah, this needs to be... I need to redesign this. We either need to come up with a 5-segment SRB, which I'm not 100% sure how we're going to do that. Well, Papa Bear, I want this to send up a lander. Here, I'll just tell you my system's architecture. I usually try to keep it a surprise, but here, let me show you. Constellation had the Altair lander. Altair was a gigantic 10-meter wide lander. I mean, if you look at it in these pictures, guys, that right there is an Orion-derived pressure vessel, and you know how big Orion is. It's frigging huge. Altair was a gigantic honking lander. It's like Starship sized, basically. Starship width for all intents and purposes. This is what they wanted to put on top of Ares 5. I'm basically going to build that. I'm going to build Altair. And instead of Orion, I think I'll do a transfer vehicle or something. And an upper stage. So it's going to look like the EDS with Altair and Orion. Or ETS with Altair and a transfer vehicle. Which is... Once again, Constellation had it right, man. They really had it right. This is a really good idea. But if we... And RJ, that's where I'm getting at. I don't have one. This is designed for low Earth orbit operations. So if I want to move a big space station component... Or like NTV, nuclear transfer vehicle components, we can do that. I even have quote-unquote space inside of the core stage here. Right there, see that aggregate space because fuel densities, hydrolocks. I could put components in here, like wet workshop components. We could just put station modules inside of this and then launch it. And then put a docking port on it and go from there. SDS had it right too, as did the Apollo Applications Program. Yeah, so I need to do some modifications to this thing. And the modifications that we need to do, basically, I need a better upper stage. I have a Block 1B variant here. So the Block 1B variant has an upper stage on it. But this variant, to be 100% honest with you, I have a 2 S464 tanks and a Rhino engine, and that's awesome. But honestly, the crazy part is because of TWR and grav losses in the first stage here, because I don't have 5-segment SRBs, the Block 1B version doesn't get that much more to space. The Block 1 version can move 81 tons into low Earth orbit. So the core stage can ride with 81 tons of payload and get it all the way into space. Or at least close enough that a service module on an 81-ton payload would be able to circularize. This thing can get 81 tons into orbit, and the stage has 500 meters a second delta V left over. So don't get me wrong, that's an extra 500 meters a second delta V. But my big problem is why? Like, okay, 500 meters a second delta V with 81 tons of payload. Where the hell is that going to get you? It's not going to get you to the moon. It doesn't get you anywhere. Now, don't get me wrong. If I lowered the payload capacity here, this could probably get like 50 tons out to the moon, right? But why? Like, I'm not, like, yeah, I suppose 50 tons it could do it, but yeah, I mean, now that I'm saying it out loud, 50 tons, I like, the thing that I'm getting at is that it's not that much more. Even though it has an upper stage, it's not that much more. You're not really gaining a lot from having that upper stage, which is a little strange to me. What I would want, and this is part of the reason why SLS has 5-segment boosters and an elongated core stage, what I would want really is to be able to get this stage fully fueled into low Earth orbit. But that's a tall order because I don't have 5-segment SRBs. You know? 81 tons with the ferry. What are you sending? Tanks of ore? Yeah. So I'm not like 100% sure that this is what I want to do with the heavy launch vehicle, but your main engines are the bottleneck. The skippers are not powerful enough. Well, we overclocked them, so they are powerful enough, but even 120% of rated performance skippers don't really get you there. I just wanted to do some math out. So we have 650, right? 650 times 5 is 3,250. That's 3,250 kilonewtons of thrust, right? And the skippers are 3 tons. So that's 15 tons giving you 3,250 of thrust, right? If we had 4 shuttle engines, 4 times 4 is 16, right? So that's 1 more ton. But you get 5,000. If we had 4 of them, you get 4,000 kilonewtons of thrust for 1 more ton. So 3,250 for 5 engines, right? At 15 tons, or you get 16 tons and you get 4,000 kilonewtons, right? You're taking a specific impulse hit, but yeah, what's the liftoff thrust with 5 skippers? About 2,500. What about with the shuttle with 4 engines? Well, the skipper is 5 times 5. 2840, and then the shuttle motors 936. So 936 times 4. Keep the 4 segments, beef up the core. Yeah, that's called Shuttle C, Samcar. Yeah. That was those damn shuttle motors. Dude, we don't even need a 5th engine. 4 shuttle motors would absolutely do it. 4 shuttle motors would give me the performance that I need. I mean, and I don't get me wrong, I got a problem with sending shuttle motors out like that, but four shuttle motors without overclock is an extra 300 kilonewtons. Yeah, and I got to remember my skippers are overclocked as well. The mass difference between 5 skippers and 4 shuttle engines is 1 ton. We have a 1 ton differential, and we have way more thrust, but these skippers are overclocked to 120%. So that means they're producing about 600-700 kilonewtons of thrust out like off the pad at full power. So 7 times 5 is 35, which is interesting because 9 times 4 is 36. Yeah, that's not that much of a gain right there. In fact, yeah, these are lighter, but see, 280 specific impulse versus 295 specific impulse. What's the fuel drain? 29,135. How far can you overclock an engine? Infinite. SSMEs do seem to be the better choice. I put skippers on there because I didn't want to dump. I didn't want to dump shuttle engines, but interesting. Mastodons would absolutely give me the performance. They would give me the liftoff thrust that I'm looking for, but, I mean, 290 to 305 is not bad. That's a great first stage engine, but we're not looking for a first stage engine here. Are the use cases for 81 tons of payload with 900 meters a second delta V? No, not really, Rocket Guy. And that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. I put 81 tons because I thought 81 tons, I didn't really do the analysis here. 81 tons, I know this vehicle's never going to launch 81 tons of anything into space. I mean, the most would be like a nuclear transfer stage or something if we were going to do something Constellation style. Right? But that's about it, you know? But, see, like, here's the thing. If we were going to launch a nuclear-powered transfer stage, we'd want it in low Earth orbit so the shuttle could get at it and add stuff to it, right? That's what we'd want. So why the heck do we have this? I don't need that departure stage. I don't. This will work just fine. Because even if I put a transfer stage up in here to get, like, to go out to the moon, or put a lander or something in here, it's not like it's going to go in one shot like the Saturn V, right? It's not going to do that. It's not going to go in one shot. I need to send the shuttle up there to attach stuff to it. So why am I... You know what? That's a good point. Why the hell am I looking for beyond low Earth orbit performance from this launch vehicle? It's supposed to be Ares 5, not SLS. Or work similar in function to Ares 5. But there's no denying that 4 shuttle engines would be better than 5 skippers. Why do you need a heavy lift vehicle at all if it'll boil down to for the fairing size, RJ? So we can move bigger things into space that wouldn't fit in the shuttle's payload bay. The shuttle's payload bay is really constricted to about a 2.5 meter payload, and that's about it. Thing is that the shuttle engines are expensive. Sure. Sure they are. Here, save this real quick. Let me see something. Gee, that looks familiar. 253. 253,815. Yeah, I have the Centaur as well, yeah. That's what MLV will do. MLV has a 375 fairing. This has a 5 meter fairing, RJ. $208, $315, $253. They're way more expensive. Interesting. Okay. Okay, I saw what I wanted to see. I'm glad we talked through that. I don't think I need the 1B variant. I really don't. This will do me just fine. This has a... It's a 5-meter fairing. It has a 5-meter fairing. MLV is a 375 fairing, and the shuttle has a 2.5 fairing. We're good to go. I have way more capability than I need. Yeah. Hey, JW. Hey, EJ, I'm making an SSTO in KSP. What should I look at to make it work well? What kind of SSTO are you making? If you wanted to get something more than 100 tons to the moon, couldn't you just put the second stage in orbit and then attach heavier payload? Yeah, which, I mean, we could just put it inside of the fairing, dude. On Block 1. It doesn't really make sense to have that upper stage riding in there. Anyway. Okay, cool. Anyway, we gotta get back to work. Let's work on the task at hand. So, guys, I need to go up and we need to get some more numbers here real quick. We're gonna just zip this up into space, and I gotta do some more testing. I just noticed your 06 Teams jersey. Get to watch the classic game in Boston? I did watch it. Yeah, I had that day off, Kyron. I watched it with my neighbors. Fun game. Also, frick the Penguins. Yeah. Alright, let me show you guys the breakthrough that we had. I'm going to put this shuttle out with just the station components that we have attached. I see you and your neighbor best buds. Yeah, I like my neighbor. He's a good dude. He's a good dude. Good dude, good family. Yeah, we got lucky, dude. We got lucky with the neighbors. And they were friends with the people that lived in this house before me. And they still keep in touch with them, and they were like, dude, if you give us bad neighbors, we're gonna find you. But I'd like to think that they didn't. All right, let me just. We're a little bit of a weeble wobbly mess right now. The Longeron pins decided to not Longeron int. There we go. Let's get the music up a little bit more. Could Starship be modified to a space plane since it has some similarities? No. No. Nah. All right, let me just get us lined up. All right, guys. So the break we kind of had a little bit of a breakthrough last night, and that's the reason why the airlock isn't up at the space station. And that breakthrough basically is this: in engineering mode, which is my simulation save here, we could basically figure out exactly the moves for arm movements here, trying to basically convert angular motion into linear motion, which is basically what inverse kinematics does. It's basically how the arm, with the operating principle for the arm. So a couple of viewers in chat had the idea of basically running a CAL controller, right? Running a CAL controller that moves a hydraulic. So where the shuttle is docked right now, so to speak, there's a hydraulic in between the docking ports that moves. You can see it, it's chilling in there. So what we were thinking is basically free up the joints on the arm. So basically just, you know, let it ride for a second here, right? Undo everything. Just loosen all of the joints. No power. And then take the CAL controller, right? Which is bound to my RMS program right now. And just play. And if you look, what this thing is going to do... Sorry, I forgot to undo the longeron pins. See how the arm is kind of free-floating there? Basically, the hydraulic is governing the movement of the arm here, and then all I can do is read from the numbers that are changing on the arm, right? We can read from those numbers and basically get the movements that I need. Why is that contracting? Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. It was reversed in the first place. See what I'm talking about? So, like, for instance, if I pause the CAL controller at 20 seconds here, and we take readings from the arm, that'll give me the exact movement of every single piece that I need. We just got to make sure that the arm chills out here for a second. So Rocket Guy, if I stop this in 10-degree increments and then take those numbers and then bind them to the CAL controller, it's not going to work exactly how we want. You're still going to get some steps in the animation, but it'll work. You could bridge together a linear movement. That's the idea. So instead of sitting here and trying to figure out the numbers behind inverse kinematics, which is a lot of calculus and stuff that I just frankly don't want to do, I don't really have the time. This definitely will work. Yeah, so I'm not just figuring out end point and beginning point. I'm figuring out, we're trying to step it. So I already have numbers for the beginning, the middle, and the end here. I need to just kind of fill in some gaps here. So the RMS program, so the hydraulic is on a 60-second. It's a 60-second total CAL controller. I have numbers for 0, 10, 30, and 60. I need 10, 20... or I need 20, 40, 50 is what we're looking for right now. And then basically what I can do is I can uncouple the hydraulic, retract it completely, power up the arm, bind the numbers that I wrote down to the arm movement here, and then we have a programmable cal controller here. See how I don't have 20, 40, or 50? We could plug all that movement together and just test to see if it works. And the tests that we did last night were remarkably successful. So I'm thinking what we could do, and Aqualex, you were talking about this. If you get enough keyframes, you can fit curves to the cal lines instead of just moving linearly from point to point. Exactly. We could smooth out the animation. You were talking about a programmable controller, which is what a lot of people are saying. I'm thinking I want a programmable controller for berthing, because every shuttle mission to get to the space station, I want the arm to dock. Now, don't get me wrong. Could I dock with the shuttle? Yeah, probably. But I'm noticing that fuel is a pretty damn big concern, especially after the last mission. Fuel is in the other missions too. Fuel has always kind of been like, oh, we got to be careful. We got to be careful. We got to be careful. So what I was thinking is if we berth the shuttle, then we don't have to worry about fuel, because we don't have to worry about fuel as much, I should say. Do we have to remount a module? No. Fortunately, Shoddy, the berthing procedures that I had written down lined up the truss segment on this. Like, the truss segment is perfect. It's perfectly aligned. And that's what I mean. With the guides and with the arm and the guide pieces, we can get insane precision. So I can engineer vehicles that are laser straight. Like, if you're putting something together, we can make sure that all the modules perfectly line up. If you looked in the mission mode save, the station looks exactly like this. It is perfectly aligned. And I checked the orientation on the docking ports. They're exact. So like, if this docking port is facing 90 right now, that one is facing 90. It's down, they're exact to the 10th decimal place, which is actually really, really cool. So let me just fill in some numbers here, and then we'll go back over into the mission mode save. We'll figure out exactly what we need here and go from there. Well, I'll figure out exactly how we're going to get this next mission stage to put the arm together and go. So my hydraulic movement is at 1 meter. 1 meter is 20 seconds. So what I'm going to do is just, we'll time warp here to settle the arm. And then we'll write down some numbers. I wonder if, can we dampen the movement? No, we just kind of have to wait until it settles down. Oh, no, not servo power. Yeah, we want dampers. We got to settle the arm to make sure that it kind of... I think so too, Raid. Yeah. That's why I'm looking for 20, because I noticed that when we went to test the dock at the end of the stream last night, as we got closer to 10, like 20 was out of whack. The 20 position was out of whack, and then 10 tried to line it up, and what it was doing, the arm would overcompensate, and we miss. So that's basically what I'm doing. I'm getting more keyframes closer to the docking, closer to actual dock. I think you turned on power on the first hinge. I did. Like I said, this is not the most efficient way of doing it, but it's close. Yeah, Aqualex, that's what I wanted to do. You were right. You were basically spot on. But also, at the same time, I didn't have a way to really find that animation quickly. That's what the breakthrough is. And dude, we were up pretty late last night trying to figure this out. And we got it. Trunks Gaming in chat and Raid. So Trunks had the idea of loosening the arm up here, and Raid had the idea of using the hydraulic and testing it in a simulation. Brilliant. Frankly, brilliant. That's exactly what I was trying to do, but this is a much better solution because we get numbers exact. So let me write down, because we're in the 20 spot here, and this thing is moving correctly. So minus 144. $144.8. Right here, we need 112.5. And then here, we need minus 141. Or, no, minus 125. Wait, did I write down the other number correctly? Yeah, okay. Right here, we would need minus 125.9. And then for the wrist, the 3 wrist components here, it's fluctuating. Yeah, don't worry about it, dude. It's all good. Yeah, Raid, we gotta... So the last 10 seconds, I'm gonna... So when you keyframe stuff, dude, I noticed this from animations. You figure out... When you keyframe stuff. So say I'm trying to key something 0 to 10 seconds, right? Key at 5. Key right in the center. Split it. And put it... And at 5... Put in a keyframe there of where you want it to be, right? This is animating in 3D now. And then key 2.5 seconds. And then key 1.75 seconds. Just keep splitting the keyframes. And then eventually you get a nice smooth animation. So that's basically what I'm going to do. I have 30, 20, and 10. And then I'm going to split that. And we'll do 15. And then I'm going to split 10 to 0 again and do 5. So we're gonna end up with 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, 0. Just keep splitting the keyframes. As we get closer, I need it to be more precise, right? No, it's RCS lock. It's the SAS lock, dude. I'm just going to take the mean of all the numbers that I'm seeing, which is about 70.9. $111.8. Minus 18.2. I'm not sure if time warping is going to help settle it down. Plus in a point at the 20 time step here. 20 time step on the arm at this position is minus 144.8. Go here. Plus in a point, 20 seconds. 112.5. Yeah, see, there's a discrepancy in the animation there. You see how much that point moved? $20 on the dot. Minus 125.9. See, now I can plug the numbers that we took down and we can test right here, right now with this Cal controller. I mean, shutting SAS off will do it, but the thing is that that's not representing station docking pretty well. That's not representing station docking well, dude. All right. Let's try to get one in at 15. All right, so we're in at 15. If I recall correctly, dead stick for this exact reason. I haven't heard of that, but I don't know. There's a balance between realism for what the game allows. You should always revert to what is the most fun for viewers and most entertaining. At least that's what would grow your brand, I think. Anyway, love the progress. Yeah. I'm not sure what prompted that comment, Homing, but yeah, you're right. This will just make it so it's easier to dock, so we can get more missions done, guys. This is, I know better is the enemy of good, blah, 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 blah. This is such a big deal in optimization and docking procedures that the shuttle will literally be able to dock in the exact same way every single time. Now, why? Why is that a big deal? Well, it's a big deal because if we're going to practice the arm movements in the SPH and moving stuff around, wouldn't it be right to have the shuttle oriented the same way every time, or else my numbers are going to be off? Now, I know what people are going to say. The shuttle isn't going to dock to the station in the same way every time. I can compensate for that with the movable docking ports. We can compensate with alignment angle here. As long as those two yellow triangles are lined up, the numbers are the same every time. With the hybrid tech, shuttle docks to the station the same way every time. I'm looking for the precision so we can assemble easier. It'll make shuttle missions happen faster. I thought you were saying we couldn't do something because that isn't the way they did it in real life. Just pointing out that we should be optimizing for the game more fun. That's literally, Homing. Yeah, I don't think you totally got the gist of what I was saying, but honestly, that's what I'm trying to say. I didn't say it, probably didn't say it right. The hydraulic is basically faking the inverse kinematics for me. It's finding the numbers for me. Now, don't get me wrong, a computer would be doing this on the real shuttle, and they could just translate the joystick. Like if the shuttle was in this position, ready to be berthed to the space station, all they could do on the flight deck is just take a joystick and move it forward, and the arm would do this movement. The control scheme input on the shuttle's flight deck, on the aft part of the shuttle's flight deck, is you have a translation joystick, so up, down, left, right, forward, back, right? It goes, and then you have a moving joystick to be able to rotate the arm around. Does that make sense? But yeah, Homing Pigeon, I'm basically trying to say the exact same thing. So that's minus 146 dot 9. The next one is 113.5. Minus 141. Or no. No. That's minus 130.1. This one right here, 69, nice. .6. Okay, there's the keys for 15. So let's take this controller, move it in a little bit more. We have the keyframe for 10, so I'm gonna put one in for 5 here. Gonna stop the cal controller at 5. Once again, we're not gonna be doing this for every mission, guys. It's just, we're not gonna be doing this for every mission. This is going to be, I'm just gonna do this and we're gonna program a cal controller just for this docking procedure. I'm fairly confident in myself that I can figure the rest of this out. All right, so this is the 5th keyframe here. So it's minus 151. 151.1 minus 151.1. 114.3, 114.3, minus 137.8. $69, nice. 115.6. Minus 30.5. I, J, K, and L? You didn't... Oh, translation controls. You've been flipping between control... Dude, it's kind of too late now, but I should have done it. I really should have done this. I was saying that I should have done it for the longest time. I should have done an advanced control tutorial for KSP. I should have done it. We should have done that. I should have done it years ago. Damn. All right. Well, let's go over to our cal controller here. Plus in a point at 15 on the dot. This is the 15 spot, so minus 146.9. Flatten that curve out. Next one, plus in at 15. The next number is 113.5. Plus in a number here, minus 130.1. Plus in a point, 15. Okay, go back up here. We got the 5th point as well. Plus in 1 at 5, minus 151.1. Go here, 114.3. So once again, these numbers, I can plug them in right now and we can get the exacts. So minus 137.8. We could basically test the numbers that we just wrote down to make sure that they work before we go any further. The fact that the servos are not named is bugging you. This is just our test version, drummer. It'll be named in the... I could name them if you want. But the Cal controller naming is just localized. But, yeah. Alright. We ironed out these keyframes here. You know what? I'm going to take a sample point. Because this last docking sequence stuff needs to be so... We need to be super precise. Especially right here. I'm gonna take a sample point at 2.5. Some of the operations, Owens. I really want a programmable one for docking or for berthing the shuttle to my docking system. And then everything else, I'm just gonna kind of visualize it in the SPH and then just do the movements by hand up there. But I won't practice the mission. I won't necessarily practice the mission here in the SPH or practice it in engineering mode every time unless it's like extremely like constituted, because just we're out of time. It'd be more fun, I think, if we went up there and tried to put it together, you know, kind of freehand almost. It will take a little bit longer on orbit, but that's more time on orbit. That's more fun. So, you know, the maneuvers that we're going to do the most. This one, I'm going to add another Cal controller to my shuttle's design here for berthing procedure. Yeah, for doing this exact thing. You know what I mean? Let's take a reading at 2.5. So that's minus 152.2. 114.2. Minus 139.6. 69, nice. .6. .4. And the wrist pin is minus 32.2. And then I just want to double check my zero indicator here. So let's... Oh. Oh, okay. All right. The controllers are set correctly. Cool. Just going to take a zero reading here, and then we'll test it. That's closer to minus 153.4. .1. 69.9. 117.3. Minus 34. Nice. All right, so I'm gonna fiddle with my programmable controller, and we're gonna plus in these last couple of points here. So plus in here, this is the 2.5 second indicator. 2.5 would be minus 152.2. Minus 152.2. And then I plussed in a new 0 here at 153.4. Minus 139.6. And then the 0 indicator is 141.3. Plus in right here, this is 69. Nice. Oh no, that's the one that I added is 69.6. And then the 0 one is 69. Yeah, Aqualex, I'm seeing with the SAS off as when we do these fine-tune maneuvers that there is definitely a difference in these numbers. And I'd be willing to guess that these ones are more precise, so that's why I took another reading on 0. 116.4, 116.4. And then this is minus 32.2. And then the 0 one is minus 34 on the dot. Yeah. Okay. All right, so the arm is powered back up here. And what we're going to do now is undock this. So now we're snap docked on the arm. There's a slight difference in the points here. Just get those aligned. Snap docking gave me a slight difference in the points here. I wonder if SVI will help us in this regard. Nope. Okay. Yeah, there is some docking port overlap as expected. Okay, so now what we're gonna do, take the banana controller, which is my birthing sequence. I called it banana because it was just a debug cal controller to begin with and I couldn't think of a name. So, release the longeron pins, play the controller. The SAS needs to be on, especially when we dock to the station later. Elon tweet, cryo test today. Thread with longer timeline. Does it sound about right, Elon? Cryo test today, wet dress rehearsal next week, D-stack for 33 engine static fire, final TPS work on ship 24, restack launch license, possible end of February, early March if all goes well. Per your previous timeline. And Elon said, yeah, that's a good guess. Okay. Okay, fellas, here's the moment of truth. Bring it in. See what happens. Now, that docking port isn't going to dock to anything because the hydraulic is there, but we'll know if this is going to work or not. Basically, if we line up inside of the longeron pins, if this lines it, then we're going to be good to go. Yeah, it's the station, dudes. The station isn't really staying still. So I'm wondering if locking the station to SAS is the right idea. Because it's definitely moving around. If we lock it on SAS now, it stays still, right? And then the arm can do its thing. Interesting. Why turn the damping down? I just had them off for this test. We could flip it back on. We could turn the dampers on. I'm not sure if that's going to fix anything, though. It might not be enough. Yeah, we have servo power dampers on. Well, that would have docked. That would have worked. Pins are definitely in position, so we can hit the longeron pins right there and lock it in. Is the arm pulling the shuttle to the station or vice versa? Equal and opposite reaction. It's yeah. It depends on which one has more mass, Skyrider. I think in this particular scenario, the shuttle is pulling the station to it. But in other scenarios, when the station mass exceeds the shuttle would pull to the station, you know? Okay, let's try moving the arms with dampers with the station SAS off. Actually, no, scratch that. I want that with the station SAS on. Arm damper with station SAS. This controller is too quick, by the way. So arm damper with station SAS on gives us a really, really nice smooth movement. Because the station is staying in the same spot. The gyros are keeping the station from rotating around. And the dampers are basically damping out any weird movements from the shuttle. Which is good. That's an awesome picture, by the way. It reminds me of my desktop. You'll need SAS on the station to do arm stuff also. Bingo. Yeah. Make that the channel banner? It's not a bad idea, dude. Are you going to continue mission mode today? Yeah, we needed to get this right, Ando, because every shuttle mission that goes to the station is going to do this. And getting the berthing procedure right is pretty damn important. I'm going to go in here to the editor and switch it to 120 seconds. Because I think, yeah, see, look, it carried a lot of momentum when the Cal controller stopped. So let's reverse the Cal controller and do this a little bit slower. We just gotta wait until this kind of all stops moving. Agreed, Crash. Yeah, Zeppelin. I honestly think it's just the Cal controller being a little too fast. So, I think. Let's just try it like this. See, some of that momentum from the Cal controller going too fast is still being imparted on the shuttle because I didn't time warp to stop it. But momentum like that should be expected, you know? Like, there's certainly a dynamic element to every mission, you know? I see what you're saying, though. We just gotta be careful. We gotta go slow during the birthing procedure. It does look good, though. The arm is damping out that momentum from full extension. You can definitely see it doing it. It's getting, yeah, it's getting smoother as it's working. Okay, bring her in. The station SAS fighting against the shuttle there. Was fighting against the shuttle there. See? Interesting. Go backwards a little bit. Yeah, dead sticking the station probably is a good idea. What's gone wrong here? What am I missing? The shuttle doesn't have any control moment gyros, Jim. So yeah, it's off. If the shuttle's RCS isn't on, then it has no station keeping ability. Just like the real one. Why are we crooked? Why did I disable the cow controller? That was weird. Shouldn't have done that. I just clicked the wrong button. Damn it! Ball, go into the cup. He said you'd make beef and broccoli today, and that's a lie. Oh yeah, here, Bree, let me just stop everything that I'm doing right now just to make you food. There it is. Yeah. Changing the lockout on that docking port fixed it. I could make it, you just wanted to give you a hard time first. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry I didn't do it today. I was up late trying to get this figured out. It's not repeatability. I changed a variable. Rocket Guy. So basically, that test was annulled because it's not good data. I rotated the docking ports. I rotated the docking port for better alignment of these, but that doesn't seem to make that much of a difference. But all right. So here's what we're gonna do. Watch. Let's go forward out here. Yeah, pretty much Rocket Guy. Hey, Loopy, thanks for the raid, buddy. Would a little bit of mag force on the ports help any? I can't do it because this was my test and the hydraulic is attached to it for testing out the movement, for getting the numbers. Mag force on any other occasion, yes. Yeah, it would help kind of bring it in. But see, actually with the rocket guy, with the docking ports zeroed with rotation lock, even though they're slightly misaligned, that's actually pretty damn good. That's really nice movement. No SAS on the station this time. Oh, I forgot to turn on the servo power amplifier. Crap. That also could have been the reason why. This is sloppy testing on my part, guys. Sorry about that. It's a really nice picture, though. Lippy, that what you just saw, the misalignment was not a good test. Just basically pretend that test didn't happen. All right, let's bring it in one more time. Actually, I'm gonna undock the shuttle and then we're gonna reattach. Okay, we're at maximum movement. We're gonna disable that cow controller. What I'm going to do is lock the components. Undock the shuttle. Let's back away. Let's see if we can get this exact. So this will dock, but the docking ports are going to be not aligned. And that's, I'm kind of doing that on purpose. See if we can compensate. I remember this being easier when we did it last night. No, no, get off the screen. Low Z thrust. Why not just move the arm? Yeah, we could do that. I could get the shuttle here, and we could use the arm to get that right. Can I check out your last message? I'm a little... That's not a bad idea. It's not a bad way to do that. So you're saying control from here and then set that docking port as target. Nope, that is really confusing me. That's screwing with my head because my brain defaults to orientation of the shuttle. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like doing that at all. That's a good idea, though. Yeah, Dward, that's more me. That's a good solution, but that's me being like, I don't know what to do. Alright. Hold on a second. Let me do this. I got an idea. So the station is nowhere near aligned to prograde. That's where it needs to be, right there. And we need the shuttle to be there too. Right? The shuttle needs to be there as well. Right here. Just in the sake of time, we're gonna do this. I wouldn't do this in mission mode, guys. What I'm trying to do is test, we're in simulation, and I'm trying to test berthing the shuttle to the station, seeing if the numbers that we came up with last night are working. This is simulation, this isn't an actual mission. I didn't launch this shuttle, we kind of edited it up here. What am I missing? My brain is defaulting control to shuttle orientation. It's really hard for me to do that because, yeah, I don't want to. That's what you're missing. Yeah, every time I try to control from here, it screws with my head. Like, I mean, I'll try it one more time, I suppose, but... I just really can't look at the screen. I'm gonna adjust it so my hat brim is The hell? Why won't it go towards it? Oh, the controls are locked out. That's why that's so difficult. Fellas, my controls are directionally locked out. They're directionally locked out for the shuttle to be control point to be from the flight deck. That's why that was so difficult. I don't know if I want to change that. Yeah, that would be hard to go back and mess with. We'd have to have a toggleable mode. I'm not sure that's worth the time, because, dude, what if I'm in... Like, what if I forget to lock that out and we go through re-entry? I think that's just another system to... Just another system that we have to keep track of, and I'm not sure I want to do that. I want to see if I can get it this way. Got it. Yeah, I can. It's more about orienting the space station correctly, dude. If I keep the shuttle, if I switch the station orientation to like orient the station, then orient the shuttle, or in this case, if we were going towards the station, right? Lock SAS on the station in an orientation, and then move the shuttle to that, and then do it. That's where I was screwing up. I can do it I could do it this way. That's fine. So now what I'm curious to see is that if that is going to make a difference with how we go to dock. Because now, presumably, what we should be able to do that we latch this thing is just put this controller into reverse. Oh, wait. I gotta unlock the hydraulics. They do rotate, chillin'. Yeah. All right, play it. So no SAS on the station. This is a docking test with dampers at full after undocking and redocking to the station. Let's see what happens here. Gotta enable the controller first. All right, let's see what happens. Can you add the constant rotational bias? Yeah, we can kind of do that, but I don't think we need to, Jim. I think if we shut off the SAS, and the station and the shuttle basically rotate at that same rate because they're all one vehicle. I think that's how Kerbal would do this. Oh, sun's coming up. I could do that, Dvorshak, sure, absolutely. Gotta pause, let it settle for a second. I turn the station SAS on here to keep the station in the same spot so it stays oriented correctly. The SAS, we're fighting against, the arm's fighting against the gyroscope here, but I think enabling the SAS at the final second here, or docking port magnetization, it could be either one. pins aren't all the way in, and I'm going to go ahead and guess that it's probably that being the culprit. So let's just give that sucker a little bit of rotation there. Yep, give it a little bit of rotation to compensate. Pins go right in. Lock the pins. Pins are locked. Pins are locked, and we're docked. Now we would undo that, and that port would dock. It would snap dock it into position. That's perfect, dudes. That's perfect, dude. That's pretty conclusive. That's pretty conclusive for me. Yes, it will. Super, yes. Mm-hmm. And then I should be able to reorient the entire station with SAS here. You're perfect. Boom, roasted. You okay? I'd like to remind you guys that the shuttle actually isn't docked. We're docked through the arm right now, and that's moving like one vehicle. I've seen what I want to see. NSS is having a Raptor side chat with Das and both of the Chris's. Cool. All right. I saw what I wanted to see. Let's do this. Alright, let's go prepare the mission. We're going to switch to the mission mode save now. And we got to figure out how we're going to place the modules in the shuttle payload bay, and then how we're going to move them. Should be pretty straightforward stuff. It's probably not going to be pretty straightforward stuff, is it? Kerbal. I'll give KSP a restart here, and then we'll go. It's not going to be straightforward, is it? I jinxed it after saying that. You're probably right. Alright, so I have the cal controller numbers, the adjusted matrices and numbers, so I literally wrote them down. It's a lot of numbers. It's a lot of numbers. Hey Boxley, nice day today. By the way, Starbase testing has started with an extended roadblock. They're doing a cryo test today, from what I understand, Balk. Hey, Dina Sign, what's going on? Okay. So, for the berthing procedure, for getting to the station, guys, I'll pre-program that. I'm convinced that we should do that. We should pre-program it. Full stack hype. Yeah, they're going to take it apart though. It turns out, like what I was thinking about not being able to static fire super heavy, you can absolutely static fire super heavy with no Starship on top. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what SpaceX is planning. All the shuttle stuff has me bringing this back. Not the shuttle, because I get bogged down doing that again. Oh. Dude. Yeah, that's cool. Snackless, I'm not gonna lie to you. I really dig the that Mark II fuselage on top of the Mark III. That looks good, man. Ah, I see what you did there. Nice touch. Yeah, that's nice. I like that. Yeah, that looks really nice with that fairing there. Reminds me of the Thick Monk. It's always a bit of a pain though, since the hatch never works. Yeah. Alright, dudes, let's go. So, we're gonna get in. I'm gonna modify the shuttle. Modify the shuttle's mastercraft file to carry an additional programmable cal. And yeah. They upgraded the pad. They couldn't do a full static fire without a Starship before. Yeah, Balk, it's just... Yeah, okay, that makes more sense. It's just... That means it's just me playing a lot of KSP lately. I'm not out of the loop with space news. I still read every day about space. Like, we read every day about it. But yeah, I'm a little... I haven't been keeping up. I actually been... You know who I've been listening to the most? Zach. I've been listening to Zach the most. Zach knows what's good. He's really good at that stuff. So I usually listen to his analysis and kind of base my opinions off of that. Alright. So the first thing we're going to do is modify this. Yeah, that's kind of been a hard spot to reach at. You know what I'm going to do with these cals? I'm going to move them around just a little bit. Not that it's going to make that big of a difference. I'm going to put the free controller right here. I'm going to put the NPM movement right here, and then we'll put berthing in the center.